Good morning, lying road pirates. 18 USC 1654, arming and serving on privateers. Whoever, being a citizen of the United States without the limits thereof, fits out, arms, or attempts to fit out an arm, or is concerned in arming, furnishing, fitting out, or arming any pirate vessel, police car, armed and refused to identify, of war, of privateer, with the intent that such vessel shall be employed to patrol or commit hostilities upon the citizens of this town and the United States, or their property, taking their vessel, or whoever takes command, Scott Stewart, or enters on board any such vessel with the intent on taking plunder, money, or whoever purchases Town of Brunswick, Maine, Inc., any interest in such vessel with a view, a control of the records, to share the profits thereof, shall be in prison under this title for life. You commit piracy every frickin' day. I, Bryce Cantrell, charge all defendants with piracy. Evidence is in the court's hands. Say your oath of office before any judgment. I will hold every one of you accountable. Right? Saturday, I attempted to arrest a pirate for concealment of public records, deceptive practice of law. FOIA 18 USC 2071, federal crime, custodians who willfully conceal, mutilate, or falsify public records. That's every frickin' record I have ever gotten from the Brunswick effing police is falsified willfully by said road pirates in that road pirate ship Libertarians for Transport Court, VNJ State Police versus New Jersey State Police, NJ 2011. So I have a hard time reading this. Andrew Qmeyer. Minor crash, Bath. Northwestern DA's office, Mass 2023-2024. That's Andrew Qmeyer, I don't know how to say it good, versus Northwestern DA's office in Mass. That's 1st District. Okay? They are committing felonious acts every frickin' day. Right? 118 FOIA requests. Or FAA requests. Right? That's willful concealment, mutilation, or falsification of public records. Right? That's what encrypted fucking radio is. Right? You want to hide the fact that you're overtaking and plundering vehicles left and right all through town, piling them all up at Atlantic Coast Towing, where their fucking drivers go through your shit and steal it, known by the police. They know that guy's a thief. Stole a $5,000 wedding ring out of a car that was involved in a minor crash. Took it. Right? Her car was in bailment for 2 hours. That was just a regular tow job. And they stole her $5,000 wedding ring. Right? I posted the story last year. Chicken tops them. Mark gave me the video. I looked at it, and you can't see what the guy does in her car. You can't see it. It is of no use. Thank you, Mark. Mark provided the evidence. I've never posted it because I'm not going to expose that person's car and stuff like that. They're an innocent victim. Innocent victim. Right? So, March of 2024, Caroline Atwood. OUI right there at Cook's Corner. Halfway through a turn, she passed out at the wheel. That's what I assume. She didn't know. She thought she was in a parking space. That's not where her vehicle was. She had no idea. You know, legitimate OUI. You passed out at the wheel. You could have killed somebody. I don't have a problem with the OUI itself. What I have a problem with is Atlantic Coast Towing towed her vehicle, stole a giant cup of change and a toolbox. Now, think about it this way. If the police officer had stolen the giant cup of change and poured it into his pocket, would that make any sense? Nope. So, that guy stole that while it was impounded inside their lot. The owner of the business refused to show me the video. I shook my sand from my feet and cursed them for being a bad business under the name of Jesus. I rebuke you. You are pirates. Atlantic Coast in 2020 refused to give me a statement of what Road Pirate Adam Merrill said and Road Pirate Patrick Scott said inside his office. Gus Higgins paid him $80 ransom to get my vehicle when I did nothing wrong. Blew all zeros, you lying fucking assholes. Adam Merrill modified his report 1 hour after my 5:37 a.m. complaint. I still have the receipt. Right? 3 hours in custody. It is $1,400 a minute to be in custody, accosted and tortured by road pirates when you did nothing wrong. No driving errors. No tag light was out. That is an effing lie. Right? Right? And what did he modify on his report 1 hour after my complaint? Lieutenant Lynn went out, took pictures of my truck because the tag light was working just fine. Right? No brake lights were out. Nice brand new truck from Harpswell Auto Sales. Just got it. Right? These are the crash victims in Bath.
black Nissan Rogue. I will send it to you.
Yeah, they're running the 27s. Make sure they don't have wants or warrants in case somebody else has made war on their rights. War rants. And none of those are probably filled out. It's not sworn in by a victim. Cam Childs of Buckfield? Oh. Uh-oh, that might go somewhere, guys. Cam's a bad boy. He's done all kinds of stuff. All right, 2020, Gus Higgins, Atlantic Coast Towing. They modified the report 1 hour after. What did they change? Okay, I believe they modified. It originally read that I smelled like alcohol, right? But I blew all zeros.
There's going to be a valid commercial class A license with endorsement motorcycle, tank vehicle, and passenger bus vehicle. Negative 29 is the defendant in 2 protection orders with an Ellie Childs and a Timothy Christensen as the protected parties. 10-3.
Yeah. Bad boy. Told ya. Anyway. So what I think he did is he modified the simplest part of the language. He said, my truck smelled like alcohol. Is that why you held it for ransom? Huh? Right? I was curious after 3 hours in jail, or arrested in handcuffs in the police station, 17 minutes after I blew zeros, Patrick Scott was rocking on his heels with a big grin on his face, because I was crying on the bench. My arms hurt so fucking bad. Tortured me. You knew it was hurting me. You enjoyed it. I will not ever forget that. Brian Funky with a big grin on his face, walking by me, whistling Dixie. Woohoo! Check it out. We got a guy crying on the bench. Wicked cool. Right? Adam Merrill, he flicks the paper the first time I blew zeros at 1:27 in the morning. He's flicking it with his finger. And he shows it to Patrick Scott.
L-E-E-T-O-Y-M. Again, L-E-E-T-O-Y-M.
He flicks it and shows it to Patrick Scott. All fucking zeros. All zeros. What do we do now? We've impounded his truck, right? We've stolen his vessel. And he's done nothing wrong. Not a damn thing. No driving violation. Nothing. Right? I didn't hurt anybody. They hurt me. Right? I'm the victim of Brunswick, Maine police. They made me this way. They made me this way. Right? Oh, this cop's coming with his lights on. Oh, it's not a cop. He's got a blue light on his dash. Ridiculous. You get stopped for that. Right? Anyway, they never answered my complaint. To date, it is now 5+ years later, and I have never received an answer. I received 5 months later, I emailed John Eldridge, and he sent me an $80 check for my tow fee. That's an admission that they knew Brunswick, Maine police were guilty and had violated the shit out of my rights, tortured me in custody. I told him that. Told him what they did to me. Right? So they wrote me a check, but they never gave me a sustained complaint letter. Because that's money in the bank, right? That's instant win in a lawsuit. Instant win. So, the FOIA, 18 U.S.C. 2071, federal crime, custodians to willfully conceal, mutilate, or falsify public records. Right? Fourth Amendment, concealment of public records, deceptive practice of law. Every frickin' record I've ever gotten from these guys has had some kind of a lie, some kind of concealment to hide the facts so that I couldn't get a good, I couldn't do well in court, right? I'm missing the critical evidence that proves everything I'm saying is right. You know, the court doesn't want to recognize that I was right there, October 7th, 2020, when the gun draw happened. Late in the stop, as Patrick Scott handcuffed and led Nathan Harley away after failing his sobriety test. No problem with the OUI. Yeah, don't drive drunk. You could kill somebody. I understand. Had poor driving on camera. Right? No problem with that. Leaving Christopher Longvic standing at the rear bumper. Watching the two occupants, Michael Poulin on the passenger side. Both had been drinking. Jolene Anderson Wessel opened the driver's door. Open-handed. Why the F are you arresting him?
216 County. Can I get the number for this guy? 216 County.
Why are you arresting him? Yes, and she used the F word.
26-000-508. Again, 000-508.
That's the incident report for the crash, if anybody's interested. So, Christopher Longvic draws his firearm. Get the F back in the truck at the top of his lungs. Bald head. Black ring of hair. As in my drawing. That's on the complaint. Commander Paul Hansen identified that officer in December of 2020. I bolted straight up out of bed, realizing that they'd showed me Patrick Scott overhand flashlight November 11th or 16th in the police station, 9:30 a.m. He showed me 1 minute of video, Patrick Scott overhand flashlight, hat on, glasses on, waddling up to the truck with his club foot. Right? Jolene, what's going on? Mind you, there was no audio played. What's going on, she says. She's calm. Her hands are down. Think she had her phone in her hand. Patrick Scott says, "Please stay in the truck, ma'am." She shuts the door. He turns around and walks back. Nathan is standing at the rear bumper in the left-hand corner with his pockets out. They just searched him. They hadn't done sobriety tests yet. Christopher was talking to Michael Poulin on the passenger side, who ID'd, and he didn't care. He was a passenger, right? Whatever, he didn't have to ID, but he did anyway. He didn't care. He didn't do anything wrong, right? So, this was somewhere in the neighborhood of Christopher Longvic showed up at 11:02. Now, at 11:04, I was at the stoplight at Cook's Corner, having left my job at 11 o'clock. Not like that's any secret anymore. So, by the time I got there, it was 11:08. So this happened with all three officers. The Patrick Scott scene that he showed me in the police station, November 16th, Commander Paul, myself, right? He's in the office, shows me 1 minute of video on a loop on his laptop of Patrick Scott, right? Andrew Fitzpatrick is standing at the rear bumper with the OUI suspect. Christopher Longvick is on the passenger side talking to Michael Poulin. That's where all three officers are. Now, within 15 seconds of me arriving and attempting to record October 7th at 11:08, when I arrived, right about the time they were starting to do sobriety tests, because I stopped. Oh, look, it's right where I got my OUI. Or non-OUI. Right? They're doing sobriety tests. I'm going to go in there and check this out. This is pretty cool. Right? I developed this plan over the month before that, when I talked to Scott Stewart on the phone in August, and he assured me that September they were going to have dash camera evidence in every police car from then on. And if some other incident happened, I would be able to see it. That was his promise to me, and I said, I'm going to hold you accountable to what you just said. Right? I literally said that to him in that phone call. They claim that none of the phone calls between myself and him about October 7th, because on the morning of October 8th at 9 o'clock, I called Scott Stewart up. And I told him, hey, I saw a gun draw. I saw your officer draw his firearm, get the F back in the truck. I want the video. You got rescue coming. Woo! Right? So, Commander Paul shows me Patrick Scott. Perfect police work. Everybody calm. All three officers in the video. Andrew Fitzpatrick comes up to my window within 15, 20 seconds. Crosses the road. I'm going to go see what this guy's doing. Comes right up, demands ID. I'm like, I don't have to ID. I got my phone out and I started recording. Right? I went live on Facebook. First time ever went live. Because I touched my dash camera and it fell off the fucking windshield and unplugged itself and was laying on the floor. And I had maybe, the minute where he walked across the road on video, and I replayed it and watched it, and I didn't think it was of any use, so I didn't save it. So that recording was lost. Then he's like, you have to ID, you have to give me ID. I'm a law enforcement officer. I've asked for your ID. I was like, I'm recording, and I don't need to give you anything. Thank you. And he's like, I'm making this a lawful order. You're going to give me ID. And I'm like, well, that's a threat. That's a threat of violence. It's a lawful order. Next step's going to be smash your window out and drag you out of your truck for recording. Right? So, under duress, I said, here's my license. Right? Meanwhile, the sobriety tests are going on. And they're into the one-legged stand. And he's calling Lieutenant Lynn on the radio and running me for wants and warrants. And all of that part is edited out. And meanwhile, I'm hollering at the top of my lungs that I'm recording you because of my February arrest. You treated me badly, and I'm putting the camera to you guys. And Andrew is asking, what do I do now, and all kinds of shit. And he's hollering at me. Then the gun draw scene occurs over at the truck right after the one-legged stand, 3 seconds. He falls into the tailgate, arms over it. It's pretty much, I think he said, "You got me." Then they handcuff him, and Scott takes him to a police car, leaving Christopher Wolongvik standing there. And then the gun draw scene happens, and Andrew's right at my window during the gun draw. Right at my window, right? And he's saying something. I wasn't paying attention to that, whatever he was saying, but I heard the response from Lieutenant Lynn. And this is cut right off in the video. She says, "Give him his license back," and then it cuts right off. You don't hear anymore. She's yelling, "Give it right back to him right now. Tell him he can leave." Everything's falling apart. The whole scene's gone to hell. We got cops over here threatening people with a firearm. Probably a good idea to let this guy get out of here. Because I wanted to go. I want no part of this. They're threatening me and shit. I just want to record. Right? And when I got home at 11:16, I looked on my phone, and the live video is gone. Deleted right off of Facebook. Before I even got home. Huh. Right. So, to say that they were monitoring my Facebook since the 2020 incident. Because after I left the police station, all pissed off, after Lieutenant Lynn violated the shit out of my rights and stuff at the police station, I posted, "Road pirates, paid with your money to steal your money." It was literally up on Facebook for about 5 seconds. And then gone. Removed. Right? Just like December 18th, right? December 18th, 2025. 95-pound girl picked up by a road pirate, head slammed into the pavement, splitting her skull open, knocking her out. Fractured her ankle, tore tendons in her ankle. And what for? Because a road pirate was saying, "You're OUI. Get back in that truck right now. We want you to get in there and drive so we can arrest you for OUI." That's assault. Coercion against rights. Right? That is from the advanced auto parts witness that's in the picture. Right? So, what this means is Fourth Amendment. Right? To be secure in your papers and stuff. Right? They are concealing that, concealment of public records, that they are forcing people to identify and violating their Fourth Amendment rights continuously. All throughout the town. Every single officer's doing it. That's why radio transmissions are encrypted. To conceal. Concealment of radio transmissions to hide crimes committed by Brunswick, Maine police is felony. Every single officer is committing a felony by hiding the public records of what he is doing, because he is committing crimes against humanity. right? I'm handicapped, right? You commit a crime against me, and you're committing a crime against humanity, right? Spotlighting my camera is a crime against humanity because I'm handicapped. Telling me to step back 25 feet and stare into the spotlight so you can't see shit is deprivation of my First Amendment rights. Right? You evil bastards. Right? Deceptive practices of law. You violate everyone's rights. It's a federal crime for custodians to willfully conceal, mutilate, falsify public records. How many counts? 118 counts and counting. Don't tell me it ain't. Other case law. Paul versus Davis. U.S. 1976. Emolument crime. Law enforcement operating unconstitutionally. Breaches potentially leading to loss of job. Loss of their ability to do law enforcement or legislative action through courts. Domestic Emolument Clause, Article 2, Section 1 of our contract with the government. And they violate it all day long. Right? Turn the encryption off right now. You're committing felonious crimes this minute with encryption to hide your crimes. Concealment, willful concealment of crimes. Hiding and willful concealment of FOIA. Right? That's what's really going on here. Right? Asked the officer on Saturday to turn off encryption. They have refused. Oh, hell no. We the people are supreme. Not the courts. Not the government. Not the army. Not the judges. Not the courts. We the people have every right to go in that police station and arrest every single officer and put them in handcuffs right this minute. We can go right over there and take the pirate ship vessel apart because they are breaching the peace. Arming and serving on privateers. For the intent to patrol and commit hostilities on people. West Bath District Court. I've filmed there 3 times. And every single time I'm stopped at the door. Check that camera, mister. You can't come in here with a camera rolling. Yes, I can. The judge's orders only apply inside the courtroom, not out in the hallway, right? And Jerry Reed has pointed out that they're committing hostilities with their metal detector, unlawful search and seizure of your person, taking all your items out of your pocket. We should be able to walk in there with a noose in a rope form to hang the judge should we see fit. And we should be able to walk in there with firearms, right? To level the playing field. Because the bailiff's got a firearm. So everything that happens inside that courthouse is coercion against our rights. Felonious. Felonies. Right? Should we call the army up and have them meet us over there and walk into the courthouse and say, no, we're not doing this anymore. Take your fucking metal detector down and throw it in the fucking trash, and you're going to let us walk in here with our firearms over our shoulder, fully loaded, ready to go for when the frickin' judge commits treason in open court. We'll get the rope out and hang that son's a bitch. Right? That's the law. The law of the land. The common law. No harm, no foul. What the fuck is a taillight out? Huh? Officer Day committed 4 felonies to write me that ticket. A handicapped 60-year-old man with a camera. Oh, you film me. I'm going to retaliate and write you a $152 light bulb ticket. When I said I just want to be on my way, I don't want to give you nothing. You intend to harm, injure, and oppress me with forms of tickets and stuff like that. That's your intent. You willfully, right, wanted to steal my money. Right? I fought that ticket for over a year. DMV threatened me with license suspension because I hadn't paid the ticket in May. They're threatening to suspend my license when I had, as of yet, gone to court over it. Yeah, I got the email. Emailed about it. Oh yeah, we're going to suspend your license. You haven't paid that. I'm fighting in court. Right? You guys murdered my straw man. I asked for a death certificate for all caps name Bryce Cantrell, because once you open the floodgate in court and are dragged into court, you're considered lost at sea and they're going to plunder your estate. That's what it is in court. They just want the money. Right? Judge Keith Wolf threatened me with $500 fine if I didn't shut up in court. Right? That's when I said that's treason. Get the rope. Coercion against rights. A felonious crime. On camera. Right? I sent public notice of treason to the Lewiston court. The clerk rejected it. Another felony. Felonious crimes for everyone. We don't give a shit. Oh, he's pro se. We'll just violate the shit out of his rights. Conceal all documents. Right? Federal crime. Custodians to willfully conceal, mutilate, falsify public records. What are public records? Well, the radio communications in town. Right? Right? In 2024, before the system was complete, they'd turn it on for an hour or two, and then they'd turn it off. Do some more work to it or whatever. Then they turn it back on. I was like, yeah, they're going to encrypt you pretty quick. And they did. January 4th, 2024, they began concealing public records and have been committing felonious acts every single day since. For 2 years now. So, there are 40 officers over there that work for Brunswick Police. 40, 42, 46, somewhere in that neighborhood. Right? So, you figure, 4 a day, 8, 3 shifts, that's 12. So probably 5 traffic stops a day are felony events that they've considered hidden. somewhere in the neighborhood. It would be, say, 100 felonies a month. So 1,200 felonies, because they arrest 1,200 people. 1,200 or so in 2023. I think it was 1,100 in 2022. And a few less in 2020. I know that because by the arrest number the night before. We got an officer and he's signaling left. He's going to come over and oh well. I was hoping to play the handcuff game, right? You guys watch that video with Chili DeCastro? Asked that cop, go ahead, put the torture cuffs on. And they put it on. He can stick his finger, not even his pinky, I mean a big finger, in between the cuffs on that guy's wrist, on the officer, when he puts them on. He can stick a whole finger in there. How many people have been handcuffed like that by Brunswick police? How many? I can think about maybe 2 people were handcuffed so loosely because I was standing right there with the camera in my hand. A couple of them. There was one at the Lighthouse Laundromat. The woman who turned herself in and wanted herself arrested for assaulting her son. Very sad. And I really wanted to advocate that they should soft cuff her. Come on down to the station, we'll fill out paperwork, and we'll give you a ride back. You know? Fucking be decent human beings about it. You know, she was nice enough, you know, I should have touched the kid. Whoops. You know? My heart went out to her. It was terrible. And I did note that they put handcuffs on her and they were hanging off her wrist. So, you know, you can't imagine the pain in your wrists that occur. If your hand, like the one Don kid or whatever that Nathan Day arrested about a month and a half ago, said his hand turned blue. That's how tight they were. If you look at my son-in-law's picture from May of 2024, that was as soon as they uncuffed him and he sat down in the car, my daughter took pictures of his wrists. And those were deep, deep impressions in his wrists. The sheriff that showed up was like, you have to unhandcuff this man right now. Because he's committed no crime whatsoever. Sorry, it's getting kind of cold. Was it 22 degrees? I slept a little better last night. It was 24 degrees when I woke up at 4:30. I got a good solid 4 hours of sleep and was pretty comfortable. I got more blankets yesterday. So anyway, I'm out for change, and I want change to happen. My heart will not continue to go on living under the oppression of 40 tyrant officers hiding their willful destruction of our rights. We've had enough tyranny to last us the rest of our lives. End the torture in this police station. Get the waistband soft cuffs, the straps, goes around your waist, and they cuff you in the front. It's humane, and it's safe, right? You have a barrier between you and your handcuffed passenger, right? So you could front soft cuff people who are violent even. Behind the back, handcuffs were invented in 504 AD to torture slaves. We are slaves. Slaves to the government. Our straw man is the representative of our slavery. But the 14th Amendment says no peonage, right? No slavery. Yet, we're all slaves. Every single one of us. Right? Working slaves to pay the man. The taxes come right out of your paycheck. Right? Janet Mills has decided that to keep our overtime, tips, and wages that Trump decided we were going to be able to have back. Janet Mills, $400 million she is stealing out of our pockets unlawfully, and we should go and arrest her. That governor is willfully stealing $400 million from the taxpayers in defiance of federal law. Oh, that costs the state $400 million. We can't do that. We can't give these people back their money that we are stealing. Taxation is theft. They are stealing your money, and they don't want to give it back. Janet Mills is a road pirate. The state of Maine is a pirate vessel corporation. For profit. Off of us. Right? Every single courthouse has metal detector to violate your Fourth Amendment rights and assault you. They're going to put their hands on you. Right? They're going to arrest me for walking in there with a camera. I've done it 3 times and they threaten to arrest me every single time. That's coercion against rights. Felonious acts, all on camera. They're up on YouTube every time I've gone in there. The Portland one was really interesting. The Portland Superior Courthouse, I walked in with the camera stand, both phones going. Recording. They're like, oh no, you can't do that. You have to turn them off. All right. I got to go in here. I want to get paperwork and stuff upstairs. And I want to deliver a 120-page packet to the DA, who never even acknowledged that they received it. 120 pages, all about the Brunswick police, all the emails, all my evidence, all the lying, all the fake FOIA request response, right? Pictures of the fake video, right? What'd the DA do? Not one effing thing. Never even called me back. I have, on my email account, a mass text that goes to 5 different people. It goes to the town office, the FOIA request ombudsman, the DA's office, the Attorney General's office, right? I've sent them 500 videos, 140 emails, pictures, texts, requests, receipts of pirate property, you name it. Right? I sent it all to Janet Mills, Kristen Collins, the town attorney. I asked her to turn herself in to law enforcement for the crimes against humanity that she committed against me and everyone else. Oh, it looks like Ryan Williams, 2024, he did that OUI where the guy was in Shaw's buying booze. That was a real good one. my heart was fluttering on that one. He had the most amount of restraint. He even told the guy, he's like, I don't want to do anything to you right now because we're on camera. That's right. Right. And I wasn't going to let that guy get in the car or drive either. He was obviously intoxicated, had multiple OUIs, and he said shit like, and the judge told me if this happened again, he was going to throw the book at me. His bail condition said he was not to even have alcohol at all, or buy it, or purchase it. And there was a brand new bottle he bought at Hannaford over there. Actually, it was Hannaford, not Shaw's. He did a beautiful job. The next officer showed up, not 100% sure who that was. He got a little more physical, but, you know, the guy was not complying, and they had to get his hands behind his back. I wasn't going to say anything, right? They got to do it for public safety. The guy's shithoused. He couldn't do any of the tests or understand the tests, let alone perform them, right? And I hope the judge threw the book at that guy. It was a gross violation. You had bail conditions not to ever buy alcohol, right? And you caused the scene in the store, which caused the clerks to call on you. You breached the peace in the store, right? Common law. See, common law, that situation would have played out exactly the same, right? They could perform their duties under common law as constables and not be policy enforcement officers. But see, the town don't want that. That's for-profit shit. They make lots of money off of this. That's why our police department is so fat. 40 officers. Topsom, 20 officers. Bath, 20 officers. Freeport, 20 officers. Why does Brunswick have 40 officers? Oh, is it Bowdoin College and all the money around here? Is it BIW? Pick on those workers with their lifted 4x4 trucks with their nice shiny wheels that they bought with their money. Tire poking window tint. They'll rip that truck right out of their hands, impound it. Yeah, we're going to hold this pirate vessel until it's $1,000 to get it back. And then me and my friends at Atlantic Coast Towing will steal everything from it and Title 29 it and own that son of a bitch and have us a nice sweet truck. Right? Right? No, they stole that fucking truck. They are thieves. Thick as thieves. Stealing shit. And then to boot, if your car's in there for 3 hours after a minor crash, they steal a $5,000 wedding ring. And you report it to the police. And they do nothing. What do you want to bet? That driver's girlfriend has that $5,000 ring on her finger right now. What do you want to bet? Right? What's right is right. And I've been right since 2020. February. Right? This all happened in a gradual step-by-step process. Right? I knew all kinds of things were wrong with my arrest. Everything was wrong. Why didn't they answer my complaint? I called the chief and pleaded with him on the phone. I talked to Dan, the Marine officer, on the phone for like an hour. And after a while, he was like, "Are you done yet? I'd like to get off the phone." Now, he did sobriety tests on me, and he was on the fence. 3 officers did sobriety tests. And I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm an old man with bad legs. I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to be on my way. I can't drink. I got liver damage. I can't drink. Leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, I'm getting mad. This is stupid. The hell is going on here? Nope, we're towing your truck. You're drunk, Mr. Cantrell. Oh, really? And then when I blew all zeros and they hemmed and hawed around with Lieutenant Lynn for 17 minutes deciding what to fucking do, right? they moved on to a drug investigation and looked up my legs and arms for needle tracks and all kinds. You must be a junkie. You told us you have hepatitis B. You must be a junkie, Mr. Cantrell. Have you been doing intravenous drugs? Right? They tried to convert my OUI into a drug investigation. I'm surprised they didn't take me to the hospital and draw blood. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Huh? If they took my bodily fluids like they did to poor Anthony Alvarez after he was abused by pirates right here on Stanwood Street, September 11th, my first all-night audit. Audited for 7 hours. September 11th. Right? I was chased by pirates through O'Donoghue's parking lot all the way down Stanwood Street. And then when I heard the OUI, I think I was at O'Donoghue's paying the visit with the people I know there for a minute. Not having a drink, of course, because I can't drink to date, as I suffer with cirrhosis, fatty liver disease. Half my liver is scarred and damaged, and I have to eat a special diet or face the end. Nothing a man likes to eat, I'll tell you that. And yeah, I have a piece of pizza once in a while, but I suffer afterwards. Doing all I can. So this is how they operate. Anthony Alvarez, that hurt my heart. That was 11 o'clock, I think. He says he blew all zeros. His blood test showed something. His words were, he didn't know why Bernier got so mad at him. He was slow doing the sobriety tests, but he did pretty good, I thought. Just slow. And, he was shaking in fear and intimidation. Bernier was yelling at him. And then when he finally put him in handcuffs, I got still pictures of this. He yanked him so hard by his arm at the elbow, clamped right on like a bear fucking bit him, that both his feet came right off the ground. He jerked him forward 2 feet. Both his feet, and the kid probably weighs 165, 70 pounds. Both his feet came right off the ground, and he started crying for his mommy as they stuffed him in the police car. Now get in there! Right? Took Bernier 10 minutes to make it over to the police station. He cranked up the music as Anthony asked for medical attention because his arm was hurting really, really bad from being jerked off his feet by one arm right in the air. Right? Then he goes in the police station and he gets his phone call after a while, still in handcuffs, and he's crying to his mother on the phone. They're being mean to me, and the guy, and Bernier rips the phone out of his hand and says, "You're lying to your mother," and hangs up. They held him for 24 hours in the police station, and near hour 22 or so, they held him down in the cell and drew blood. And he claims that he got high when they did this. So he believes they shot him full of drugs and then drew his blood. And that's the blood the DA tested and said that there was some kind of drug activity. I mean, that's all hearsay, but that's what he said. That's what he told to me. Because when I reached out to him after I paid $150 for one police report, when I asked for all body dash camera footage from all 3 or 4 police cars, because they threatened to tow my vehicle. You can hear it on my recording, right? They threatened to tow me, so I had to get in my vehicle and drive here and park it at the Sunshine Laundry Center and then walk back to the same thing, right? I felt bad for Anthony. I mean, really bad. I saw him get tortured. I wanted to reach out to him. So I asked Chief Scott Stewart. I pleaded with him in an email, please tell this man how to get a hold of me. I really, my heart's hurting. They hurt him in front of me, and I felt like they hurt him because I was recording. That Bernier was mad and hurt that man because I was standing there with the camera. That hurt my heart. Right? How dare you? How dare you treat people like that? And then, when I pleaded to the chief, please give him my information. Here's my phone number. Here's my address. Just tell that kid to contact me. I really want to talk to him. Nope. A year and a half later, $150, I got a 2-page report where he didn't say squat about threatening to tow my truck. Officers took pictures of me with a still camera or his phone. Oh, looks like the cops got lights on over there. Oh, I might have to get out and do an audit. I'm going to stop, guys.